Yeah!
Hello and welcome to this Warno 2v2 DEFCON2 Tournament in the qualifiers. And today we've got Stahlbrecher and Protoss. That's team TKbeSt Enjoyers. And one of them is playing TKS. And they're up against Chich and STANAG. And their team name, I think, is orbitrek. I believe it's orbitrek. So, those are the teams. And looking at the deployment, it's blue versus red. I believe the blue players picked first. No, the red players picked first. So Chich and Stanag chose to play 6Y and 35Y. Interesting. We'll see what the decision making was there. I can see some books back there, so maybe that's why they wanted books and T64s. So yeah, looking at the blue deployment, it's basically the same as last time we saw these guys on this map, except last time it was Protoss on TKS. So just, yeah, FS Jaeger B1s and Green Berets to every position here. So for some reason, these are all +2s and these are +1s, which means that all the fighting happens here. Whereas I think if this was a +2, these were +1s, and these were +2s, there'd be more reason to attack on the flanks. But generally, the map is played narrow because of the way the points work. So they're just going to spam out forward deployed AA. It's a standard TKS opener. I'll just show you one lane. So you get the Green Berets for the AT. You get the FS Jaeger for the recon and the satchel charges. You get the VLRA 20 for the AA, and you back it up with a race car for the so to blow stuff up. So that's everything. You've got everything there in a forward deployed strike package, which is extremely powerful, and they're quite cheap. So you could do that 4 times, which is what we see here. So there's not much going on the sides at all. And then behind that, you've got the heavy stuff from the heavy player. So National Guard Stinger, regular Stingers, Tote 2 going to there. And then a bunch of Bradleys with infantry, CEV, which you don't see very regularly. I think these are way too overpriced for what they are. Basically has the same DPS as an IFV, and an IFV can also shoot vehicles and helicopters and is cheaper, right? So I just think it's a waste. More of a LARP unit. The main reason for this is that the gun doesn't actually do that much damage. If you compare it to Wargame Red Dragons, I think it does like 8 in Red Dragon. Here it does 3, and also the fire rate is 3 rounds a minute. So if you miss, you've had it. So yeah, that's their deployment. Looking at Red with their subpar divisions, which they chose, I guess they went for 6th because of the books. And there's only a couple divisions that get books, and the book lets you shoot across the whole map. Can we see that? So you see that circle there? That circle basically goes from like here to there. So if you just put that here, it's basically all 3 zones. So that's why. And yeah, so we've got some helicopter deployment stuff, which is, I mean, this one makes sense. But the issue is you can't do that against TKS because they get the forward deployed AA gun trucks. So this is very, what's the word? Very conservative because it has to be. So typically, that's what the 35Y player is for. So you've got Chich here, Chich Plus, and he's doing a plus rated attack on Echo for Machiki. Don't see these very regularly. But basically, they shoot with the strength of 10 men because 1 MG is 2 rifles. That's a good way of thinking about it. So they shoot with the strength of 10 men, unlike NATO squads who just bring 10 men and cost the same. So packed infantry is just worse than NATO infantry generally, with some notable exceptions like Vax Schutzen, Metis, Conkers, and an anti-tank gun and a recon. So cool attack. No AA. He hasn't brought the forward deployed AA gun truck, so we'll see, because he's probably going to get bullied a bit. And yeah, Chich is presumably, yes, he's going to give him his CV. Oh no, it's the same guy. And yeah, a bit of recon stuff. Bob purchased for the Rocket Arty 6Y. 6Y. Does 6Y get Rocket RT? I think it gets a Eurogun, which isn't that good. I don't think it gets Grads. And then a bunch of forward deployed stuff, which isn't actually going in the zone. They're just giving up on the zone at the start, it seems. Yep, none of their guys going in the zone. They're just giving up on Charlie entirely. And then they're going to try and push back in with a bunch of with two T-55As. So it's going to be very difficult for Red. I think they've got the forward deployment, they're not really using it. And one of the reasons for this is they fear the AMX-10RC, because if you're cruising down this road, that thing can kill you. Same with this road, same with this road. But yeah, you could definitely get to here at the start as Red quite comfortably, so I think that is a mistake. So we'll cast the game, we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners. They get the names on the screen. I've just received a text message. They get the videos early, they get exclusive videos, and they're bankrolling this channel, basically. I can cast games between players nobody's ever heard of, like Stahlbrecher and Protoss, without having to worry about the fact that nobody's going to watch this game because nobody's heard of the players. Whereas, you know, most content creators, they would only really cast games with people like Chich and STANAG because they're known players. So you're really doing me a favor. If you don't want to pay money, that's completely fine. I understand. Please take care of your family first. That's every man's responsibility, and 97% of my audience are men. And I guess it's every woman's responsibility as well. I mean, you should take care of your family first. But I've just been cancelled for what I just said, so there's no need to take care of me anyway. And there you go, the race car gets the transport as we predicted. If you don't want to pay money, just like the videos and leave a comment. It's free, takes you 5-10 seconds, and if you can't think of anything to say, just type GG. It makes YouTube recommend the videos to more people, which helps counteract the spam that I'm currently doing right now. And it is working. We have proof that it is working. So Red have managed to save most of their deployment, basically, so the race cars didn't get their value, but they've completely given up on Bravo, I guess because they were going for Echo, but it's a damn shame they didn't just put one unit here, one ATGM there, you know, one recon here, because they've just completely seeded it. And the problem here now is that you're going to get AMXs all over the shop, and like this is probably going to kill that, because it's going to go there, and it's going to shoot it as it goes past, because this man has chosen death. I mean, so weird, like, why not come this way? So that's a shame. So I think Red have the poorest strategy here, and they're paying for it. The urn went down on the right side to presumably that Phantom. And there you go. So Chich has brought the half grads for 35Y, which are very not good compared to regular grads. But if that's all you get, and look at that, he took out the Stinger and the TOW 2. These machine guns are going to struggle to pen an Abrams tank. It's a damn shame there wasn't a guy with AT there, because he'd bully that. But alas. And yeah, the Fireteam Dragon here really messes up stuff in that area. You know, put TOW in this building. Bradley doing the same thing on the road. So Red having a really tough time here. But they are in this zone. Oh, that AMX probably going to go down. 2 misses. Yikes. Standard French bias there. And that CV did die, as predicted. And this gaping hole they've left in their lines is going to be a problem for the rest of the game, because they're going to get to here, shoot you on the side, they're going to get to here, shoot you on the side, they're going to come around to here, you know. So +3 for the boys in blue. And yeah, I don't understand why you would deliberately pick these divisions. I mean, 35Y kind of makes sense, but 6th was an odd decision. The books are out, but there have been no planes. They're expecting TKS air spam, I suppose, but there's no need when you can just walk through your enemies. They're not unloading their units. So yeah, T-55s just getting hit by TOW 2s there. Kind of looked like it got critted there, but it would still be a 2-shot kill anyway. And yeah, so Red gets EV in here now. Metis probably going to miss again. Yeah. And at least they're keeping some of their guys alive. And Red have done decently on this side. Could move that up to there. Although this does have a TOW, so he might get shot. And yeah, 6Y not really doing much. So here come the urns. And But I think that's going to make it. The half-grads are constantly firing, which is good. You could put a CV with them, but right now you really don't want that. The half-grads, they're really not as good as regular grads, but because 6Y was the pick instead of 39Y, you don't really have a choice. If it was like 27Y, 39Y, you could say, look, you do all the gradding because your grads are better, and I'll focus on, buy a couple of donors if you need artillery. I'm really surprised he's not hitting this corner. And this thing's probably just going to die because it literally can't see what's shooting it. These metis are in a good spot. Okay. And yeah, so he's realised how utterly scuffed he is because he left this wide open. So Stahlbrecher's got a pretty decent line here, and he threatens this line of reinforcements, which makes it harder for red to attack the middle. So +5 for blue. Big yikes moment, and they can't see this sniper as it shoots them. Which is a common complaint, so that's just going to die there. That CV went down. Not sure what killed it. Could have been anything. Really not sure what killed it. There's no arty here. So one of the reasons I like TKS on this map is because you can bring the 260mm guns out. You can start seriously hitting positions. But he's content to bring tanks instead. Get some Rolands. And Protoss has bought the M270, but he's not using it. He doesn't have any targets for it yet. It's really only good against vehicles. It would have been good against this. So BMD2s should be unloading, and they are. And they should get back in here. Imagine if they had a mortar for smoke. And you got some wheeled stuff over here, so... Yeah, red doing their best to try and get back in the zone. I don't understand why he's not going for the CV. But I guess he thinks he's got time, but they don't. They have 5 minutes or they're going to lose. And Protoss is going for this as well, but he's probably not going to make it because the Metis is going to one-shot this. It's only got 3 armor and this does 17 pen, which means it one-shots, and it's going to one-shot this because that definitely has less than 3 armor. So, yeah, this is not fantastic. The urns only have 4 HP. Used to be 6. At least this helicopter model used to be 6. And so that's going to happen every time you buy them, and they're 60 points a pop. So 6th advantage is nothing, basically. Like, he could buy a T-64 BV, and that would be able to kill basically any tank blue can bring, which I thought was the point. I thought he was doing that so he could get the bucks and get the tanks, the heavy tanks, but he's not gone for that. He's gone for the lighter stuff, which other divisions do better. Chich is doing a decent job getting back in here. I'm really hoping to see some half-grads hitting that CV position sooner or later. Because the BMD2s will deal with this, you don't have to worry about that. But STANAG's just having a really rough time here, because he seeded this at the start. Sound like a broken record at this point. He's got no chance of getting back in here, because he can't even reinforce, because the point is you reinforce your guys to here, and then you move them in on this side. So this side's quite open, and you can get shot by these positions. Whereas here you use to cover the buildings, but because he's lost this, he can't reinforce this until he clears this off. So those grads went in on that position, and yeah, it's going decently for Chich, but his teammate's having a tough time. Right, so is that gonna... No, it's just going in on nothing. But they do need CV. Here it comes. This thing has fired 6 rounds. Not sure what it was at. And here we go, Stahlbrecher has bought the heavy arty, the M110A2. It's got something written on it in German. Apparently it stands for cow, but we can't see it due to the lighting. But it definitely had something written on it. Or maybe it's only the second pentagram one that has something written on it. But basically it has German for cow written on it. So there you go. So Protoss's MP leader has 11 HP, which is more than any unit either of these two teams can bring. Data versus packed infantry discrepancy there. So Chich is forced to fight into this with all these guys on 1 HP and he's losing them. Where's the rocket RT? That's what it's for. And I was also assuming that I was assuming to see this at some point. MiG-29 went down on the right side of the map there because Protoss is attacking here, so Chich has to get back from there. And yeah, so that CV's still alive. But this CV survives that artillery. Just need the grads on that CV. Any second now. But Chich has done a decent job of getting in here. But that's because a lot of Protoss's attention was focused over here. Having said that, the Cobra did go down to a Bison AA, which then went down to the Phantoms. But Protoss can just drive in here. There's nothing here, apart from a bunch of CVs. And some Helo stuff, which is going to die. So, +4 for the boys in blue. And this is looking pretty saturated. It'd be a great target for rocket artillery. Here we go. No, he's not going for it again. So, I don't know, man. I mean, you got it. But that is typically a target for this thing, the Giant S. Whereas the rocket arty is more for this, I think. So, okay, so he's trying to get a sight line there, but because of the trees and stuff, it's not easy. This guy does bring no AT, but this guy has AT, so we can't just drive it in there. +5 for blue, because they took this, soon to be +6. There's just no defense. So we'll do a bit of speeding up here, because this is a very over game. Will they ever... He just lost the CV again. And he just never managed to kill this. It's really sad. Oh, there we go. Right, finally. So this thing has 2 PKTs. Used to have 3. That's a shame. And STANAG, he managed to push back in here and, you know, clear this up. But +8 to their opponents, because that CV went down. There's no way this gets in here. It's just going to get blown up. And Kula can't even see him, because Razvedka's not in position. Down it goes. GG. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard of these two guys. They're, sadly, it just comes up with my name, but STANAG is rank 152,000 games. Chich is higher. Chich is actually better than STANAG. No offense, STANAG. But they picked off meta against Protoss, rank 258, and Stahlbrecher, rank 16, with 115 NATO games, because NATO's a lot stronger than Pact, particularly in 1v1. So you get a lot of these guys that literally just play NATO all day, every day, to try and climb as high as possible. And when Pact was stronger, they did the same on Pact, but that's 1v1. I mean, that's every game ever. Some people, they just want to win. They don't want to play with a disadvantage. And they certainly didn't have the disadvantage there. So, TKS takes another win. Please do let me know what you think. Please leave a comment. Did you find this useful? At least you learnt not to pick 6YA.